Hey everyone, my name is Dan Charles with LITEFOREX, and in this video I'm going to break down the major Forex pairs. But before I do, please subscribe to the channel and click that bell so you always know when a new video gets dropped. Okay, let's get into the breakdown, starting with the Australian USD. Okay, so last day I was saying that we had some support here, and it was around 68.40, but after the fact we did show that we hit support at 68.38. Both days that same price was hit, and I was feeling more like this could break out, and I want to see if it can bust through this resistance around 69.13. Right now it looks like it wants to do that. It is setting up just based on the weekly chart, still looking bullish. Although I commented just how choppy we are. We're very, very choppy right now. You can really see that just based on the last 3 months. We're up, we're down, we're up. And you can see that resistance around 68.98. So realistically, this needs to break that resistance for the month of January. But let's see if next week this can break out. Let's take a look at the Australian futures contract as well. Now I talked about the support hit on the futures, and it was this low 68.52. You can see it bounced off of that price, and here we are. Looks very, very, very similar. So the resistance on this is around 69.31. It's looking like it wants to break out next week. So to me, this looks like it wants to continue the uptrend next week, but it really has to close above this resistance at 69.31. Okay, onto the Euro USD. So I was leaning more towards this dropping. I looked at this on the 18th. To me, this looked like it wanted to go lower. It said it really needed to hold this support if it wanted to continue with this uptrend. You can see it busted through that today. And right now this looks like this is going to have a little bit of a rebound. You can just see the pattern here. Big candle down, bit of a rebound. I'm anticipating this pulls up a little bit. Look for this center line, this 1.1100 as a resistance, as it was support. Now it's going to be resistance. And the low today was 1.1066. So we got 1.1060 for support, and you can see that previously that was there was support off that price. You can see on this little breakout, pullback, support around 1060, breakout again. So we need to hold that support price, but I think this could pull up next day. Let's take a look at the Euro futures. Yeah, so this really looked bearish when I looked at this on the 18th, just like the Euro USD. Of course, like I point out, these are always going to look pretty similar, but I like to look at both because sometimes I can get a different look. Maybe there's some support that it's more obvious on the futures than on the Forex pair, or whatever the case may be. I always think it's important to, when you're looking at all the different Forex pairs, I think it's great to sometimes even look at the ETFs, the currency ETFs. Going forward, you can just see this support at the low today, and that low was 1.11305, and you can see there was support off that price before. You can see it came down, bounced. So it's the same thing with the Euro USD, that same support, and I think this is going to have a bit of a rebound next day. Okay, on to the pound USD. I was pretty confident this was going to drop. It said it really needed to hold this support around 1.3048. Busted through that yesterday. Going forward, I think this, let me just slide this I think this could have a rebound soon, but all the signs are that this is bearish. Obviously, we just had a huge breakout, and we're at a point right now where we're getting close to this entire move being given up. And once that happens, you can just see here, we broke out from here. We were a little bit choppy on the pound USD. It was holding support at higher price levels, and then it finally breaks out of this little channel. And then now here we are, we're right at that channel price. So we got to look for a bounce on the next day, because it could potentially bounce. But you know, looking at this, I had such a big drop. You know, it's going to pull back a little bit. It might just pull back for a day or two and then come back down and continue this downtrend. But it is definitely overextended. Look for that support and a bit of a rebound the next day. Let's take a look at the pound futures. Yeah, so I talked about this key level here, this low 30.90 on the British pound futures. We closed below that price. And yeah, to me, this putting in higher lows, I just think that this could have a rebound the next trading day, even though the monthly is just really lining up quite bearish, and it's quite overextended as well. This pullback was quite predictable, just based on all the time frames, the daily, the weekly, the monthly. So going forward, I'm expecting a bit of a rebound. Okay, New Zealand USD. Okay, so the New Zealand USD, I was saying last time, needs to hold this 65.44 price. You can see here, it did do that, continuing the uptrend. It looks like it wants to attempt to break out this high, potentially early next week, 66.35. Let's see if it can do that. I'm not 100% it is going to do that, just because we're just going straight up here. We're going straight up on the New Zealand USD, and it's rarely going to just keep going straight up at this rate of an incline. It's usually going to be short-term moves, pull back, continue. It's not going to continue going straight up at that price. We'll see though. Anything can happen though in the markets, but just from my experience, markets don't usually trade like that long term. But it could still break out, go a little bit higher, and then go sideways, and then pull back, consolidate. So yeah, let's see if it can break out of that price, but you just look how overextended we are on the weekly. Let's take a look at the New Zealand futures. So you can see we held that support I drew in last day at 0.6574. Broke out. This really needed that rebound. And yeah, it looks like it wants to break out and test the high. On the futures, the high is 66.32. See if it can do it. It's I think it could definitely break that, but I just don't know how much higher this is going to go in this move. Okay, USDCAD. All right, the last day I said that I was bearish on the USDCAD, but I was pretty confident this was going to have a rebound. Had quite a big rebound. It rebounded all the way up to the high today of 1.3181. So that was quite a big rebound. I wasn't expecting that big of a rebound, but I did call a rebound on this one. If you look at the 60-minute, I can just tell that this is due for a bit of a bounce, continuation. So let's see if that happens. You can just see here that this had a big breakout today. Long upper wick, pulls back, I think Monday is going to be interesting because if we're looking at some smaller time frame charts, you can just see this move here, the 60-minute chart. It's holding that trend line. We're just going straight down. To me, it looks like this will bounce first thing. Let's take a look at the Canadian futures. Yeah, so last day when we were looking at this on the 18th, I was pretty confident that this was going to come back. I drew in the center, the line on the center at 76,175 because we want to see if that price gets broken. Could have turned around, and it almost did that exactly. So I've been trading a long time and reading charts a long time, and when you start watching these videos, you're going to see that I'm pretty consistent, pretty accurate. So if you like my videos, please hit the like button, because you're going to get some accurate breakdowns every week on the major currencies. So you can see that exactly happened. It pulled back, held that line, pulled up, but then of course the next day it just dropped. It just gapped down, pulled up, and you can see it's holding some support at this low today of 0.75900. Yeah, this looks to me like this could have a rebound. This could rebound next day. Yeah, it's, see, this is the whole point of looking at both these charts, because you look at the USDCAD, and to me it looked like it could rebound to the upside, and then I look at this and I say, well, this looks like this could rebound as well. So that obviously is counter to what I just looked at. So if we go back and we look at the USDCAD, I talked about this 60-minute. This looked like it could rebound on the 60, and just looking at the 240-minute, it looks like the same type of thing. This came back to the moving average. It was overextended on the 240, and it looks like this could definitely come down a little bit more. But this to me looks like it could turn around. Of course, the trend is clearly down. But you got to remember, there are trends inside of trends. So this is clearly a downtrend based on the 240-minute, but you can have uptrends in a downtrend. Okay, so getting back to the USD-CAD, you know what? I see different things. Like I see that we could rebound, but I also see that we could drop on the Canadian dollar. So I'm going to be neutral on this one. That's the other thing. It's good to be neutral sometimes, because you can't call it accurately every day. You know, every day I look at all the different Forex pairs, all the different US indices, all the different commodities, and some days I can really call it accurately and my trades are extremely accurate the next day. But other days I just can't read. It just doesn't look like anything, or there's contradictions, and I just stay out of the market that day. So sometimes when I look at a chart, I really can't. I see signs that it's bullish, I see signs that it's bearish, and when you see something like that, it's best to just stay out of the market on that particular instrument. Okay, USD Yen. Last time I looked at this a couple days ago, to me it looked like it needed to bust through this resistance at 109.71, and then of course 109.73. Looks like it's setting up to try to break out next day, but until it busts through these resistance levels, 109.68 as well. You can see on the 16th and on the 19th, that same high was hit, 109.68, and then it's pulling back on that price. So there's a lot of resistance that this pair needs to bust through before I'd be really confident that this is going to continue this uptrend. And it really has to break out of this channel, because these are not big moves right now. You can just see the last time I just pointed this out that it's not having big breakouts. These aren't big moves. So let's see if this one can be a big move and break out of this channel. Looking at the higher time frames, the monthly is definitely looking more bullish. The 240 minute is, you can just see that resistance here, breaks down, goes a little choppy, breaks down, holding support right now. The low here, 109.21, you can see it's hitting that exact price, closing at 109.21 and then opening at that same price, so you know there's strong support there. Yeah, the way this is looking right now, this could come back more, but it looks like we have strong support, but of course we got resistance as well. So I'd be waiting for it to break one way or the other, and then I'd be looking for a trade there. Okay, on to the yen. The last day when I looked at this, I said that this was definitely setting up bearish, but it was overextended and could have a rebound. And you can see it did have a rebound, pulling up. Going forward, this is setting up to go lower, as is the USD Yen. Looks more like it wants to continue the uptrend, but yeah, right now this looks more bearish. But it really needs to bust through these lows. 0.0091705. So this looks definitely like there's more downside on the yen futures. Okay, that's the breakdown for December 20th, 2019. Please subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. Have a great weekend.